Hi, friends. Today we're going to read a story about contractions. Our story is called I'm and Won't, There and Don't. What's a contraction? It is written by Brian P. Cleary. If you look right here, it gives you a definition of what a contraction is. A contraction is two or sometimes three words combined into one word using an apostrophe. Now, you've probably seen apostrophes before in words, especially when you're reading, but now we're kind of going to learn how we would use them in our writing and how to um, form them with our sentences. So let's get started. Contractions take a couple words, or sometimes even three, and shrink them into only one, as in she's drinking tea. So she is, take out the I, add an apostrophe, and the S. She's is the contraction, and it shortens up she is. It takes two words and makes them one, as in that's mine and his. As punctuation goes, contractions always feature these. They take the place of letters, and they're called apostrophes. So I want you to take note, an apostrophe looks like a comma, but the only difference is it goes up top towards the top of your space when you're writing in your lines versus a comma goes on the bottom. And it takes the place of a letter. So it is turns to its. So they kick out the I and they add in the apostrophe. Take a phrase like does not, a contraction makes it doesn't. So here it takes out the O, adds the apostrophe, and pushes those words together to make one word. Try another, was not. You can shorten it to wasn't. So again, they have was and apostrophe T because they took out the O. Apostrophes help link the words and replace at least one letter, as in, I'm very proud that I've helped make this lovely sweater. She doesn't look too happy with her sweater, huh? So for I'm, they kick out the A and they add the apostrophe and squish those two words together. Oftentimes, contractions join another word to not, like, shouldn't it be colder now? And I can't. And can't I take your spot? So here they take out, can't is kind of a weird contraction, but for shouldn't, they just take out the O and replace it with an apostrophe. Can't, they take out an N and an O and replace it with apostrophe. I don't think this shoe is mine. Isn't it absurd? All these turn a two-word phrase into one single word. And then on the board it says, there, will, she's, I'd, can't, couldn't, I'll. Other times, contractions shorten are or is or am, as in, I'm sure you're hungry, and he's cooking up some ham. So this is I am. They take out the A and replace it with apostrophe. You are. They take out the A and replace it with an apostrophe. He is. They take out the I and replace it with an apostrophe. Now and then, contractions shorten not just two, but three words. For example, I'd have thought this was the zoo. This is not very common. You probably won't really see this, and I don't expect you to use this when you are writing. But this stands for I would have. So would is kind of a funny one. It takes out WOUL, and it leaves the D. And then have takes out the H and the A. Would, when it's contracted, is reduced to just a D. So that's what I said just previously. In the words like I'd and she'd, as well as you'd, to just name 3. So this would be I would. They take out everything except for the D in would. So WOUL. She would changes to she'd, and you would changes to you'd. Will can come in handy as a future tense contraction. So she will, that's what it says right there. Shrink she will right down to she'll. It's smaller by a fraction. So you have to be careful here though, because when you're reading, it looks like shall, but since it has that apostrophe, it's pronounced she'll. So she will, she'll. And there it is right there, she'll. Sometimes you'll find have and had have been abbreviated. Like here, I've got a puppy and I'd better get him crated. So I have got a puppy, so they take out the H and the A, and I'd better get him crated. That's had. Aren't contractions useful words in speech and writing? Don't have any fear in using them. I'm guessing that you won't. So there's lots of contractions. Are not changes to aren't. Do not changes to don't. I am changes to I'm. And won't is from will not. So won't is a rule breaker one. It goes from will not to won't. So you kind of have to memorize that one. So what's a contraction? Do you know? So what's right here stands for what is. They take out that I. And that is it. So if you want, you can go on to Epic and you can read this book again, and you can even take a little quiz on contractions. But that is all you have for this video. Now you can move on to working on the contraction pages in your trifold. Great job, friends.